First, the Melbourne CBD resembled a war zone this afternoon as police used tear gas, stun grenades and rubber bullets in a bid to control duelling protests.
Yeah, thousands of people joined March for Australia rallies around the country. And as you would expect, the march in Australia was met with a counter-protest and things quickly turned ugly.
These scenes come just days after Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen insisted
the CBD of Melbourne is safe.
Yeah, famous last words, because Police Commander Wayne Cheeseman begs to differ.
This is what was thrown at police today, and I think Melbourne has had a gutful. The left-wing group were running up and down side streets. We were lucky we had barriers and police in place, but they were desperately trying to get to the March for Australia group, who was for a long time static at Parliament House.
You can see their police are furious. A couple of points about this, but before we get to that, I should mention a female police officer had a broken hand. Yeah. A male police officer had to be treated for a gash to the leg after he was glassed. And police protective shields were cracked. Such was the force with which things were thrown, and they were attacked. A couple of thoughts. Firstly, isn't it interesting to hear a police officer saying what many in the media won't, that this violence is coming from that quote-unquote left wing?
Shock.
Let's see if the ABC pick up that little report. But the police commissioner specifically said these are issues-based left-wing protesters. They call themselves anti-racists. Isn't it interesting, the ones who proclaim to be the moral guardians are the ones who are throwing rocks, throwing bricks, attacking police? Second point I would make is police are furious now that they have been attacked. And I'm not having a shot at police, but I wish we'd seen that level of anger from Victorian police after people were attacked with machetes, after people were carjacked, after people had their homes invaded. Finally, police are ropeable now that their officers have been attacked. Well, Victorians have been putting up with this sort of rubbish for a long time. Maybe now they'll get action. Of course, it won't be from Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen. She will say this is unacceptable. This has no place in Victoria. We're going to, enact tougher legislation, and we'll see the similar events next weekend or the weekend after. And Nothing will change.
And I think we have to broadly also look at the march itself. Why these people were there, James? They were there because they are sick to death of mass migration. They want.
Well, that's the other march.
And
yes.
This is what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
But just to clarify, the March for Australia group police were very, very.
They were
very strong. In fact, that police officer that we just threw to, he said they were peaceful, engaging and followed instructions. The other came with masks, hoodies and umbrellas, throwing rocks and hiding behind barriers. They came to harm our members. It's got to stop. So I just want to point out that this March for Australia, why they were there. They were there to say enough is enough. We've had enough of mass migration in this country. We're going to start putting Australians first. And there was this one woman that was there particularly. This is what she said. Have a listen to this.
Immigration is what Australia's built on. We do need a pause, but it's got to be well considered and well managed. And unfortunately, the current government doesn't be able to manage that.
I'm not against migration at all, as my parents are immigrants to Australia themselves. But I just think that we should have quality migration, not quantity migration, I think.
Obviously, in a crowd like this, you're going to have many different opinions. Yeah. However, March for Australia's message is end mass immigration, protect our heritage, our culture and our way of life.
Right, so we're talking everyday Australians who have absolutely had a gutful of mass migration, which has obviously put a lot of pressure on the cost of living crisis as well as housing. We've got everyday Aussies, James, that cannot get into housing, yet literally Labor has the welcome mat open with more than 1.1 million Aussies coming into this country, right? But Labor will not have a proper debate. And we're going to talk migration later on in the show, but Labor refused to have a proper debate. The problem is with the left. Now, last time there was this big protest, every single MP, and I'm talking on both sides of politics, were falling over themselves to call all of those who attended the March for Australia rally racist. These people are not racist. So I can't wait to hear what our politicians have to say tomorrow. Are they going to call them racist, or are they going to go, actually, that what the left did today, the disgusting scenes we saw, are they going to call them out for what they are because they're a disgrace?
Yeah, I would hold my breath, but I value my life too much to do so, Danica. And it's pretty clear the tactics of the left, right? They cause mayhem at these rallies. So the message of the March for Australia rally is lost in the violence and the mayhem.
And
it's
that's
a
what they
deliberate
want.
tactic, and they'll probably achieve their aims.
Yep, exactly, which is such a shame.